how to create a UX portfolio without UX experience? This is the question. So, hi friends and welcome back to the channel. You need a portfolio to apply for a UX job, but without a job and without client, you don't have a portfolio. Job description really require a certain, amount of years of experience. But what if you don't have any experience? What if you are really looking for your first job, your first UX role? So if you don't have any experience, right? So you won't get hired. I feel that the struggle is real, especially with UX and boot camps and all the education programs and all the courses. Really non-stop putting graduates out in the world who are really trying to get hired, but of course they don't have any experience. And I remember that I had the same problem when I was looking for my first UX job. So I studied graphic design and basically I designed posters, I designed books, I designed any kind of print products. But I knew that I wanted to get into UX. I didn't have a lot of experience back then, besides like one internship and maybe a little bit of my bachelor thesis. I applied for jobs, but of course I got rejections. Friends of mine who did boot camps had a very similar experience. Although they had some, I would say, like proper projects, there's still a lot of competition out there. I would say even if you did UX projects in your UX education or in your bootcamp, your portfolio might even get passed over because recruiters really recognize the kind of group projects because they are always the same. So they're seeing these group projects over and over again. So I remember when I got feedback that my portfolio and my case studies were just really not good enough, and thinking back at it today, people just really didn't see my potential for what I was showing them in my portfolio. Of course, it was mostly print products and maybe some campaigns and my bachelor project. So I didn't really have any UX projects in my portfolio, and of course I didn't get hired. But don't worry, if you feel the same, that's totally okay. My first tip is really changing the mindset and become a UX problem spotter. So the best UX designers I know are both really not only problem solvers, but also really problem spotters, so they see problems everywhere. You can just do that and really train that by just starting to observe situations, environments, or products and really quickly identify the obvious problems in an experience. Don't really jump straight to a solution after spotting a problem. Instead, and this really is important here, you examine the whole process and really trying to understand the why behind a certain problem. So you go really deep and you really try to listen and you really try to observe and you really try to understand. So you study the whole situation. Only after deeply understanding the problem, you think about possible solutions. And I think this is pretty interesting, and this mindset will help you so much. Because you know what's pretty easy? Thinking about solutions. So everyone can do that. What's really difficult is understanding the problems and taking the time to observing. This is a real skill. And from now on, if a problem occurs, really try to observe, try to listen, and really try to understand before you even think about any kind of solutions. This is a great task that will make you an awesome UX designer in the long term. So a really good thing to practice when you're building your portfolio, because this mindset will bring you to a lot of opportunity spaces which you can use in your portfolio as well. So really challenge yourself to go like a whole week and document all the problems you see and really try to understand them. So in each conversation that you're having, really observe. So now I want to share with you 3 ways to get a little bit more of UX experience on your own. So the first tip is that you can fix an existing product. So really look closely at the product you use every day. So really consider the problems in the experience. But don't really just rely on what you think. Really take the time to do a bit of deep research to see if others express concerns around that product as well. For example, you can look at the app rating, or you can do a super quick Twitter search. You can really look at the app reviews, check out the company's Facebook page for reviews, You can Google, you can ask people if anyone has written about it before. So really look for as many complaints and thoughts about it as you can find. And keep the mindset to really focus on the problem before you think about solutions. And really take the time to follow the steps you take if it would be a real client. So don't just jump right to the solution, but really observe the problem space before you start giving it a makeover. Start with research, create a concept, test the concept with users, iterate, and then treat it like it would be a real client project. Number 2 is explore a problem space. So another option to really explore a problem space is you might have encountered some existing or some unaddressed problems. Maybe you learned about some from, like the problem spotter experience. Maybe you're planning a trip with your friends, for example, or your family, and you notice that it's really hard to create like a meal plan for the whole trip, right? Like when you're staying at the same house, of corresponding like shopping lists and the budget and like allergies. It might be an interesting problem, and you realize that you may not be alone with this problem. And after asking your friends and your family members, you find out that they are struggling with this too. And this would be an opportunity to really conduct some research and to explore this problem space and see if people outside of your friend group having the same problems and struggling with it too. Again, make sure to not jump to a solution right away. So if you're thinking about solutions now, stop it. Start with research, try doing your user survey, your qualitative methods, everything you learned. Do some one-on-one interviews, and really don't forget to see if there are any other products that you might to observe or consider doing a competitive analysis or heuristic evaluation on a few of them to really understand the features. Point number 3 is create a prototype for a new idea. After you explore a problem space and you confirm both the problem and the opportunity, then really start solving. Make sure that you actually follow through on the design process though. A great way to do this is to really pretend it's not a project for you, it's a project for a client. And this will help you make sure you won't skip steps in the process and really get lost in the design details. Through the whole process, again, really treat it like a real client project. In my early years as a UX designer, I really loved to create this kind of concept, and I was working on a few really futuristic case studies, like this one, for example, like the flying veggies case studies. You can still find it on Behance, or the future of cooking case studies, where I observed a problem space and then come up with a solution. I encountered a problem and I was thinking how this will be solved in the pretty near future. So really learning to see problems is a skill that will help you so much in your UX career. So this is really something that you can use for the long term. And if you can train yourself to really see beyond the symptoms and really avoid the temptation to jump straight to a solution, you'll be able to get to the really deep to the problem, to the root of the problem, and really solve bigger problems for the products and for the businesses. That will make you an awesome designer. Also design for non-profit, and there are many non-profit organizations out there who really need design support but who don't have any money. You can also look in your town, or you can Google it online. They just need design support, and it's a really good thing for you to get your foot in the door. You gather some experience, you can usually do what you want, and you really support them and do something good as well. And point number 5 are hackathons. The last tips are hackathons or any kind of courses. You can find many either on an Eventim, for example, or on Meetup app, where you get a challenge and you work on the challenge for a whole weekend with a team. And after that weekend, you have this project or like the result that you worked on, and you can still work on it a little bit later on and polish it a little bit. But I have done that several times, especially in the beginning of my career, which was super nice for networking and got me a lot of experience. Totally can recommend that to everyone. Really look on LinkedIn, there are a lot of hackathon announcements. It's a really good opportunity for you to learn. I really hope that this video was helpful for you. Let me know if you have any questions or thoughts in the comments down below. I'm happy to answer them. Don't forget to like and to subscribe this video if this was helpful for you, or share it with a friend if you think that might be helpful. And don't forget to say hi on Instagram. I'm always happy to connect and see you there. So good luck with the application process and the portfolio building. Yeah, see you soon, my friends, and bye bye.